This is a cloud logo with a growth graph inside it. Most designers look at a finished logo and ask, how? Wrong question. The right question is, what order? Because logo design isn't talent, it's sequencing. We start with the Ellipse tool, shortcut L. Not because it's easy, because a cloud is not a cloud. It's a series of circles pretending to be one shape. Hold Shift while dragging. That locks the proportions. What you get is a perfect circle, not an oval. The cloud has 5 key bumps. The central one is the largest. It anchors the visual weight. The flanking ones step down in size. The base circles ground the entire form. This is visual rhythm, recognition without effort. Every professional logo operates on that principle. Place each circle deliberately. Overlap them. The overlap zone is where the magic happens next. This isn't a logo. This is a committee. Pathfinder panel. Window. Pathfinder. Select Hit Unite. One click. Shapes become one continuous path. The overlapping edges vanish. The interior divisions disappear. What remains is a single, clean outline. This is Boolean logic applied to design. It's not destructive, it's reductive. We're removing everything that doesn't belong to the final shape. Here is why this matters. A logo built from separate overlapping shapes will break the moment you apply a gradient, a stroke, or a transparency effect. The seams show, the math falls apart. Unite it, own it. After Unite, you have a shape, but Pathfinder is not perfect. Sometimes it leaves redundant anchor points, ghost nodes sitting exactly where they shouldn't. You can't see them at full zoom. Direct selection tool, shortcut A, zoom in. Every point on this path should be load-bearing. If a point exists and removing it changes nothing, it's noise. Delete it. Clean anchor points mean clean curves. Clean curves mean clean output, whether it's a 16-pixel favicon or a 3-meter billboard. Logos get scaled, they get embroidered, they get vinyl cut. A messy path at small size is a catastrophe at large scale. This step takes 2 minutes. It prevents 2 hours of fixes later. The cloud is the container. What goes inside it is the argument. A growth graph, a rising line with data points. We build the data points first. Small circles. Ellipse tool, shift drag. Placed at specific intervals along the graph's path. The spacing is not random. Even intervals rate as measured progress. Uneven spacing reads as instability. Nobody consciously notices this, but everybody feels it. Pen tool, shortcut P. If the ellipse tool is architecture, the pen tool is surgery. Click to place anchor points. The line rises left to right, bottom to top. This is a universal visual shorthand for growth, momentum, for a company that knows exactly where it's going. We keep the line straight between points, no curves. A growth graph with curves reads as volatile. Straight segments between nodes communicate control. Every design decision carries a message. This one says we are deliberate. Stroke weight. This is where most tutorials move too fast, and most students get it wrong. The graph line needs to be thick enough to read at icon size, but not so thick that it crowds the interior of the cloud. We test in increments, 2 points, 3 points, checking the visual balance each time. Too thin, the line disappears at 32 pixels. Too thick, the logo looks heavy, even aggressive. But here is what nobody is saying. Stroke weight and node size must be proportional. If your line is 3 points, your data point circles need to scale accordingly. Mismatched weight reads as assembled, not designed. This is the invisible work. Nobody applauds it, they just feel the result. The arrowhead. This is what converts a line graph into a directional statement. Polygon tool set to 3 sides. That gives us a triangle, but a default triangle from the Polygon tool is equilateral. That's not an arrowhead, that's a yield sign. Direct selection tool, select the apex point, drag it upward, stretch it into a forward-leaning arrow. The angle matters more than you think. Too sharp, the arrowhead reads as aggressive. Too blunt, it reads as uncertain. The sweet spot is roughly 35 to 45 degrees from the base. That angle reads as momentum. Purposeful, not threatening. Here's the arrow keys to nudge anchor points. Hold Shift. It moves in 10-pixel increments instead of 1. Precision without tedium. Align the arrowhead to the tip of the graph line. They need to connect seamlessly. A gap between the line and the tip signals carelessness. This logo cannot afford that. Flat color is the first draft. Gradients are the revision. The graph and arrowhead get a red to dark red gradient. Lighter red at the top, deeper red at the base. Here is why. Light reads as surface, dark reads as depth. The gradient creates a three-dimensional impression on a completely flat vector shape. Your brain interprets it as dimensional, even though nothing in this file has a z-axis. This isn't a style choice. This is a perception manipulation. In the gradient panel, set the top stop to your base red, the bottom stop to a darker, more saturated variant. Keep the hue consistent. The shift should be in luminance, not color. A gradient where the hue shifts reads as a mistake. A gradient where only the value shifts reads as craftsmanship. The cloud gets a different treatment. Blue, linear gradient. Why blue? Because blue is not decoration. Blue is positioning. In visual communication, blue signals trust, technology, and infrastructure. This is a cloud logo. The brand is explicitly communicating cloud computing, cloud storage, scale. Blue is the shorthand. The gradient runs lighter at the top, deeper at the base. Light from above, the oldest visual convention there is. Your brain expects it. When you deliver it, the shape feels real. And notice what happens when you place the red graph against the blue cloud. Warm against cool. Complementary contrast. The graph pops without a single outline or drop shadow. Color does the work. You don't have to. Now the cleanup. This is the part that separates the portfolio piece from the professional deliverable. Layer order first. The graph must sit above the cloud, not behind it. Stacking order is logic. If your layers are wrong, your design is wrong, regardless of how good every individual element looks. Group the graph system. Line, nodes, arrowhead, one group. The cloud is its own group. This makes future edits surgical, not chaotic. Stroke alignment, set to inside. Not centered, not outside. Outside alignment pushes the stroke beyond your drawn path and inflates your shape. Centered splits the stroke across the edge. Inside keeps the visual boundary exactly where you drew it. One click. Most designers ignore it. The ones who get hired never do. Final check. Zoom out to 100%. Look at the full composition. Does the graph sit comfortably within the cloud? Is there enough internal breathing room? Does the weight feel balanced? If something feels off at 100%, it is off. Don't override your eye with logic at this stage. The name completes the mark. Type tool, shortcut, T, cloud base. All caps, bold geometric, sans serif. The typeface must match the logo's language. Clean, precise, no ornament, no serifs. Serifs carry history. This logo is not interested in history. Letter spacing, open it slightly. All caps with tight tracking reads as compressed, even anxious. Open tracking gives the letters authority. It signals a brand that doesn't feel the need to crowd itself. Align the type to the center of the mark, horizontally, optically, not mathematically. Optical center sits slightly above mathematical center. Your eye will tell you when it's right. Zoom out, full composition, cloud, graph, type. Does it read as a unit or as three elements that happen to end up on the same canvas? This one reads as a unit. That is a logo built from first principles. Ellipses, Booleans, strokes, gradients, type. Nothing arbitrary, every decision earned. This isn't button clicking. This is cold logic. Subscribe to Social Animal Studio. See the logic behind the chaos.